Fredrick Nnamdi Ibemgbo. From a smartphone addict to a seven-figure smartphone business consultant, Fredrick Nnamdi Ibemgbo is a smartphone business consultant who works with smartphone users to create awareness and trainings on digital, employable, and profitable skills that can be harnessed for business purpose using a smartphone as means of generating extra income. He also works with businesses on scaling visibility and profitability, leveraging on their smartphone through digital marketing. He serves as the CEO of Mobile Consult, the consulting firm that provides the business platform to offer his services. Fredrick built Mobile Consult after 4 years of running several businesses on his smartphone and making his first six figures income in e-commerce in 2017. After helping himself move from a random smartphone addict to a smartphone business consultant, Fredrick was inspired to start a business of helping smartphone addicts discover the untapped potentials of their smartphones and teaching them how to harness these potentials to boost their productivity and profitability. He has taught over 1,000 people smartphone skills and have helped some grow and establish a mobile business of serving the needs of people in the capacity of their digital skills. He has created the awareness of smartphone productivity to over 3,000 people worldwide through speaking engagements, both online and offline. He has over time acquired certifications in digital marketing, introduction to personal branding from the University of Virginia, digital transformation and human resource management from Google and IBM Institute, Germany, and still developing his skill set to serve the society even better with regards to helping curb the global menace of smartphone addiction. Fredrick holds a bachelor's degree in medical laboratory science from Ebonyi State University, Nigeria. He's currently based in Lagos, Nigeria. He has authored 5 books over time, which includes his best-selling app library in 3 versions: The Guide to Social Media Influence Business, The Smart Cryptocurrency Investor, amongst others. He also has a fast-growing YouTube channel, which is in itself a one-stop platform, also for the purpose of training smartphone users on smartphone productivity. He believes that the solution to smartphone addiction is by educating people on how to use their smartphones effectively and yet stay focused, productive, and scale profit with their business. Let's make welcome Fredrick Nnamdi Ibemgbo.
Yay! Welcome, Mr. Fredrick. I need to pin you so that you can be highlighted. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the honor.
So I must commend the voiceover artist. That's actually the first time someone is pronouncing my surname very well.
Yay!
I hope that wasn't a bot. That wasn't a bot, right?
Sorry?
That was a human being. That was a human voice, right?
Yeah, a human voice, yes.
Awesome. Like,
yes.
I almost feel like
she's Yoruba, by the way, so she's not even Yoruba. She did a great job.
OMG. Like, immediately I heard the song, I was like, wow, who is this?
Wow.
All right.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody from Lagos, Nigeria. So good whatever time of the day that you are in your country. So whenever we attend church services, after announcements, people's minds are already at the door. So I hope nobody is going to leave before the end of my session. The service is not ended yet. Okay. All right, so everybody that I've spoken have actually done a background on what I am supposed to be talking about, leveraging, let me pull up my slide quickly. Okay. So I'm going to be discussing leveraging technology. All right, leveraging technology for student learning and engagement. So I just came back from Abuja. I went to meet with the school. So I spoke with their high schoolers, their higher grades. So I told them something. I told them we are living in an era where any job can be replaced by a bot. I told them immediately a new tech solution is found or is introduced to the industry. somebody loses his or her job, loses his or her job. Even teaching, right? I don't know how many of you watched Zuckerberg's introduction of Metaverse last year. He also talked about how education is going to look like in the Metaverse, all right? Let's take it back to 2020, when COVID struck, all right? A lot of schools, not a lot of, every school was closed down worldwide. Why the Western world kept on, in fact, life was still going on in the Western world digitally. Africans, a lot of students stopped schooling, especially those that are schooling in government schools or schools that can afford tech. Okay, why other schools were actually able to introduce tech and continue their sections online. Okay, so technology, as someone said, has come to stay. It always gets better. It can only get better, no matter how tech allergic. I heard that word recently, that some people are tech allergic. So no matter how tech allergic you are, all right, tech is not going anywhere. You can either jump on the queue, okay, and see how you can use tech to make things better for yourself, or watch tech replace you. All right. So in this topic, we are looking at leveraging technology for student learning and engagement. So I will ask a quick question. So drop it on the chat. What is the full meaning of PDF? What is the full meaning of PDF? The volume is low. Is the volume low?
It's better now.
Awesome.
It's better. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What is the full meaning of PDF? Educators. What is the full meaning of PDF? What is the full meaning of PDF? On the chat, I'm on the chat. I'm waiting for an answer. What is the full meaning of PDF? PDF, portable document format. All right. So in the school where we are in Abuja, so one of our instructors started introducing the use of PDF to the higher learners, in place of getting them to copy notes. All right. And he said he was surprised that all of them, not some, all of them, it's actually a big school in Abuja, do not know what PDF is. And then I began wondering, what then are they being taught in your ICT classes? Okay, because some of the things I told them, please, let's get these kids to think tech, all right? Let's do everything technically, all right? Let's do digital with everything so that they will get to experience another form of learning, okay? Contrary or different from the normal, all right? And then he said that the children do not know how to create a PDF, how to access a PDF, okay? And I began wondering, what then are students being taught during ICT classes, okay? So this topic, I believe, is meant to help us educators, you educators, okay? See how you can adapt technology or leverage technology, digital medium, all right, to deliver your classes, okay, so that people, students or learners can get to easily grasp what you're teaching, grab what you're teaching, understand quickly, and also engage with the class, all right? So I'm going to try as much as possible. There's no much light, okay? I'm going to try as much as possible to put up some practicals so that at least at the end of my session, you can go home with one thing, okay? So what I am going to be doing in this in this session is just to show you tech tools or digital tools that you can leverage to improve students' learning and engagement in your class. All right. So digital transformation is the adoption of digital media or digital technology by a company. So what this means is when a company introduces or uses technology to improve delivery of their service, okay, the education sector is also an industry that as tech is evolving, all right, as tech is evolving, there's going to be platforms, there's going to be softwares, all right, that teachers or educators are going to be using to deliver classes, okay, for better understanding. So we do no longer need to come to classrooms before we can still, make sure that our students are keeping tabs with what we taught them that day. So when I was in school a few years back, Immediately the class teacher leaves the class and maybe drops an assignment. To some of us, the learning actually stops there until it's time for examination, okay? But it's not supposed to be so. Virtually all of your students now have access to the internet. They have access to smartphones. So how are you going to keep tabs with them to make sure that, hey, was this thing that I taught today, did you understand it? Did you understand it? Did you, was there anything you found confusing? Okay, these are more files or more documents that you can use for further learning, all right? So if you do not get these children to think with regards to how they can use technology, how they can use their devices at home to further their learning, they are going to just go home and do whatever there is they can do. Social media, and yes, especially social media, or the children play games and all of that. But when they know, when you go home, use your laptops, use your smartphones, I'm going to send you this, and that, so that you can also learn more on this topic. Because guess what? You can never fully exhaust any topic that you're delivering within that 45 minutes of your time in the classroom. But when they know that after the class, they're still going learning continues, then they are going to what? Quickly understand more of what you're teaching them. And they also get to see learning beyond just learning to pass exams, but learning to know it. Okay. So that's for digital transformation. This is actually a course I've taken in IBM Institute 2 years ago. Okay, you can also learn, take this course on any platform of your choice. You can go to IBM Institute and learn about digital transformation and begin to think about, as an educator, how do I employ the digital tech to improve on my class delivery, to make sure that my students are learning and also engaging with every topic that I teach them. Okay, so what qualifies you as an educator is your superiority in knowledge. Today's kids, the Gen Zs, right? I always tell them that the future of Africa depends on them. If Africa is going to go extinct tomorrow, it depends on them, all right? If technology is going to wipe out everything that Africans do, it depends on them. And it also depends on you as the educator to get the skills to start thinking tech. How do I use tech to solve the math problem? How do I use tech?
It's frozen, probably network.
To solve this English problem? How do I use tech to further understand biology? How do I use tech for?
Okay, you're back. The network, you were frozen before, Mr. Fredrick. And he's frozen again.
Yeah.
Are you back now?
Yes, I am back.
All right.
I am back.
Thank you.
All right. So what was the last thing that you heard, please? What was the last thing you heard? Please drop on the chat. What was the last thing you heard? Last word that you heard? You asked Len, you asked Len as this in class, What was the last thing you heard? Babatunde, what was the last thing you heard? From the backseat. Using tech to solve biology. Yes. So what qualifies you as an educator is your superiority. When your children, when you pick your brain, because they do that a lot, they try to pick your brain. All right. So when your learners try to pick your brain by asking you, oh, Mr. Babatunde, I just heard of this, that, and it's a tech inclined question, and you maybe God have already punished you and you're the ICT teacher and you're not able to reply them. There is nothing you're going to tell that child that asked that question that he's going to believe that you know what you're doing, okay? Students these days, learners these days, they are so good with tech that if you are not able to match up with them in that level of understanding, in that level of digital tech know-how, all right, it might be difficult for you to impact learning on them. All right. So if there was no classroom, would you still be an educator? Ask yourself that question. Imagine that COVID happens, God forbid, in both Nigerians. So imagine that something happens and they say every educator is now going to be teaching from home. Are you still going to be a teacher? Are you still going to be an educator? All right. So the last speaker said a lot about upskilling. Upskilling. It's all about you being able to, follow the trends, the tech trends in your sphere, in your field of practice, okay, in your education field. Follow the tech trends so that you stay relevant, all right? So that you stay relevant, okay? So student learning implies a student can be said to have learned a topic when he or she has gained an understanding of the topic enough to be able to explain it in his or her own words. Please, educators, I think you should, try to remix the exams that you set, okay? And get students to respond or answer in their own words. That is actually how you get to know if you taught well, all right? I remember my lecturers, they will even tell you, the way I gave it to you, give it back to me, okay? And then they keep repeating past question papers and we keep recycling things that have already is already outdated, okay? Let's come from the angle of tell me from your own understanding what I just explained, okay? I think that is going to better foster students' learning and engagement. One of my students was tutoring me on NFTs, metaverse coding during our break time chat. You can imagine that, okay? So what are the tech tools? What are the digital tools for student learning? What are the digital tools that you can leverage for students learning? So the number one we have here, yes, so the number one we have here is explainer videos, okay? Explainer videos. So explainer videos can be used to improve students' learning and engagement. The use of motion graphics, whiteboard animation to present the topic makes learning entertaining and facilitates understanding of the topic. Now, let me drift a little to back then in high school, okay? We have this teacher, all right? If he had 45 minutes or 40 minutes to teach, he's going to use 20 minutes telling us stories, okay? And then 20 minutes to teach. All right, this actually helped us to, number one, even though that the teacher wasn't really all fair, okay, he can still flog so well, but still yet we enjoyed his class. We loved coming to it. We loved him coming to our class instead of our further math teacher, all right, because of the way he uses entertaining stories, all right, he uses entertaining stories to portray the topic, all right. If we cannot even remember what he was teaching is, all right, we can still remember the stories. So explainer videos help to register pictures, all right, helps to register the topic in the minds of children, in the minds of the learners, okay? With the use of motion graphics, whiteboard animation, they actually get to, at least it registers. They remember an object, remember a term, remember how the animation was going. They can quickly say, okay, mix everything together and then answer your question perfectly, all right? So what are the tools that we can use for explainer videos? These are actually simple tools that you can use, whether with your smartphone or your computer, to create explainer videos. So we have Render Forex. Okay, we have Render Forex. This can also be available for free, or you can pay to get the pro version. But either way, you can use Render Forex to make explainer videos to make your classes more entertaining and also facilitate student learning. All right, I hope you're following me. Is everybody following me? Are we together? Are we together? It's just Babatunde that.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Awesome. So I want somebody else to drop on the chat. Drop on the chat. If you are with me, drop on the chat.
You're breaking up, Mr. Fredrick.
If you are with me, awesome. So, okay, am I still breaking up?
No, it's better now.
Awesome. So, Benin, you remember my profile talked about a lot of things about smartphones. So, I am more of you can use your smartphone to get stuff done if you do not have a laptop. Okay. I am more of, okay, no laptop, no problem. These are how you can still get those things you do with your laptop to be done with your smartphone, all right? So all of these tools I'm mentioning, even with your smartphone, everybody owns a smartphone. Every educator owns a smartphone, all right? If you do not have a laptop, you can still use your smartphones to create explainer videos perfectly, all right? Benimi is there, Video Scribe is there, and Doodly is there. But most of all, you can use Benimi or Render Forex, quick and easy, okay? So at the end, I'm just going to pick out one of these things I'm talking about and teach you how to use them so you can use them in your classes. Next one is live classroom. So remember I said in the absence of classroom, learning can still go on using digital tools, okay? If there are no classroom, can students still learn? The metaverse is going to be adopting virtual reality for teaching, okay? So if you do not know about metaverse, now you should start at least making basic findings on what the metaverse is about and the future it holds for education, all right? So we have explained everything. Sorry about the mistake there. So it's called explain everything. So when I used explain everything last year, I really loved it. Okay, instead of you using Zoom, the most important, the most popular one, all right, or using which other one, Google Meet, Google Classroom, Microsoft Classrooms. Okay, you can actually use explain everything. It's further. You can use explain everything to make whiteboard animations or explainer videos right in the class, okay? It's just about you knowing how to use it perfectly. All right. So the next we have Zoom. So on Zoom, you can have the whiteboard session. All right. You can have the shared document session. So while in the class, you can still, write on the board in quotes the way you would in a physical classroom. Same goes for Microsoft Classrooms, Telegram, and Google Classroom. So I added Telegram here because someone might say, how can you use Telegram to teach students? Now, there is what Telegram has called, I think it's called broadcast, all right? So now in Telegram, it's actually an updated feature of Telegram that now allows you as an educator to interact or offer classes, deliver classes using Telegram, okay? So you can have a classroom and then the discussion room on Telegram. All right. And then there is also the share whiteboard session feature now on Telegram, provided you're using your smartphone, your laptop though. But then your smartphone can still help you. You have a whiteboard right there on Telegram. So that Telegram application is actually one application I've discovered is not just a chat messenger like WhatsApp and the rest. Okay. So Telegram is more official than we use it for, or we know it to be. Okay, so you can also explore more functions on Telegram. I did a video on YouTube, 20 Telegram bots, all right, that you can use on Telegram for different functions. And a lot of people were amazed that these things are possible with Telegram. But guess what? You can never get to know the full function or full potential of an application on your smartphone until you actually get digging on how to use it more effectively, all right? So think about this after your class, Google Drive, and I believe all of you have Google Drive because you have a Gmail account, okay? So there's always Google Drive on every smartphone, all right? So you upload the summary of, you've done your explainer videos, then you created the Google Drive folder, all right, and uploaded all the summaries, okay, all the explainer videos or more things you'd want the children or the learners to leverage after the class. Okay, then you share it with your class. You can go the extra mile getting the emails of your students. Okay, let me tell you something about learners. Of course, you should know. Once your learners get to see something different about you from every instructor, they are not going to take you for granted. They're not going to use you to play. Like, they're going to see you as some demigod. Okay, remember that they don't know, they are curious, they are anxious about things. And once you're able to tell them, all right, so this thing that we just did, once you get home, do it this way with tech. Every young person is always fascinated about technology, tech trends. So when they see that the educator knows what's up in quotes, all right, they're going to follow you, okay? And they're going, remember that once a student gets to like you, all right, and trust you that you know what you're doing, then it's going to be very easy to teach that student. It's going to be very easy to get that student to learn what the topic that you're delivering in class, okay? So you create a group mail list and always share information on the topic with them, okay? So you go to get your Google Drive, upload your documents or your class summaries in there, collect their emails, create a group a group mail list, and always share the link to the Google Drive folder with them. So with that, they know that they can still stay connected with you even after class, all right? Even after class. So the next topic, the next tool we have here are tools for graphical illustration. So this design was done on Canva. You already know about Canva, okay? So every educator can create highly engaging graphical content to ease learning and understanding, okay? So you can use designs, you can use images, you can use slides, all right? You can use slides to make the classes even more fun and foster learning, all right? So other tools you can use could be Adobe Spark Post and Designer. So I actually mentioned mostly smartphone tools that you can use for your designs. Canva helps you gives you a template that you can just remix to what you want it to be, modify to what you want it to be. With Canva, you don't need to have experience as a pro graphic designer. There are already templates that you can use and just simply remix, change it to what you want it to be, and the slide is ready, okay? And your design is ready. So as an educator and you do not know how to use Canva, please go learn how to use it. YouTube is there for you to learn how to use it. And I believe in the academy, the Educators Academy by Fresh Look Africa, there should be classes that's going to teach more on this. I hope so, Ms. Adora. All right, so we have e-quiz, which is what I'm going to e-quiz is what I'm going to also do a practical on. All right, so we have e-quiz to make writing quiz more engaging. All right, now if you're an educator and you teach ICT, computer, or whatever tech classes, all right, henceforth after this session, make sure that your students do not write quiz on paper and pen again. All right, because everything in that topic, in that subject, must go tech. Everything in the ICT classes or computer lesson classes should be tech, all right? In fact, they shouldn't come to the classroom with pen and paper, all right? Get them to come with their laptops, their smartphones, their tablets, okay? Any device that they can use, both to take notes, all right, and also to write quiz, okay? So to create a CBT, that's computer-based test, all right? You don't need to be so tech inclined, to be so tech savvy to create your own e-quiz, all right? There are platforms like Kahoot, Google Forms, Typeforms, and Try Interact, okay? So I'm going to use Google Form right now to set up a quiz. So I just would want you to follow suit, all right? So I'm going to change the share, and I'm going to go to my Chrome. I'm going to go to my Chrome, all right? So I'm going to go to Google Form. I believe that we can see my screen. So I'm going to search up Google Form, all right? So you can see the Google Docs form. You can see the Google Doc form. Yes, Kahoot is awesome, but I think Kahoot is more elementary. So so we are in Google Doc form right now, all right? So I'm going to tap on blank. I hope we can see my screen. Everyone, can we see my screen? So I'm going to tap on blank.
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to tap on blank. So this is a class on ICT quiz, all right? ICT quiz, okay? And this is where you fill in your instruction, answer, or questions, okay? So you might actually think that this is the Google form that you know until you see what I'm about to do here. So we are going to write this first question. What is the full meaning of ICT, for instance, okay? And let's make it a sub-objective. So you can see that this is objective, multiple choice. So I'm going to change it over here to sub-objective, write a short answer, all right? So now let's assume that I've created the quiz, all right? I've created the question, just one question, for instance, okay? So I'm going to convert this to a quiz. So I'm going to go to settings, okay? So you can see make this a quiz. So I'm going to turn this on, all right? So you can see release grade letter after manual review, all right? Because you want to check out what the students wrote, okay? So the next says missed questions Yes, you can turn it on so that they can always be informed when they miss a question, correct answer. You can turn this off so that they don't get to know when the answer is correct or not. Okay, then point value should be there. All right, point value should be there. So this is the default point value. So let's take it that every question is 10 marks. All right, so I'm going to use 10 marks. Okay. So down here we have responses. So I'm going to collect their email so they don't get to answer twice. Okay. So you need to turn this on, collect email. All right. Send responder a copy. You don't have to. So allow responder edit, turn it off so they don't edit it after they have finished writing the quiz. So the next is limit to one response. Turn it on. Okay. Turn it on. All right. So the next one is presentation. So how do you want it to end? So progress bar, if it's going to be section 1, section 2, you might want to turn this on. Then over here is the confirmation. All right, confirmation message. Well done, for instance. Okay. Then let's assume that I've done every important thing. All right. So now, why most people do not use this for their why most people do not use this for their what is it called, for their quiz, is because they think that when you use it, you don't get to time the students. But no, you can't time the students with Google Form. All right. So in yours, you won't see what I'm about to show you. Okay. So what you're going to do to bring in an add-on, all right, what you're going to do to bring in an add-on is tap on this button over here. All right. So over here, you're going to see add-on. All right, so this is what you should bring in. So once you tap on the add-on, it's going to ask you, what do you want to add on? Remember that we want to set it such that we want to be seeing the face of the student while he or she is writing the quiz, okay? And you also want to time the students such that immediately that time, that's the set date for that exam, the portal will be open. The students get the link on their email. Remember, this is an ICT class, so they need to think tech. Okay, so the students get the link to that exam, and then the time set for that exam also comes into play. So once you're in your add-on, you're going to look for Hugo, timer, and camera. So this button over here, all right? I've already installed it in mine, all right? So I'm going to select it. So it's going to ask you to install, all right? So over here should have been written install. So once you tap on install, it installs. Okay, and once you've installed it, then you can do what? You can refresh your form. Then this button comes in. All right, this button comes in. So once I tap on this button, I'm going to see that Hugo timer and camera screen protoring. All right, so I'm going to select it. Okay, and you would see configure. You would see configure. I'm supposed to see configure. I need to refresh this so that I can see configure. Okay. All right, so you see configure, all right? I hope you are following me, right? I hope you're all following me. You are all following me, right? So thank God that this is recorded, so you can always get the replay of this. Awesome. So I'm going to tap on configure, okay? So on the configuration, okay, the configuration says enable Quigo. So I'm going to select enable. Okay. So we are going to move over to the Quigo plugin. All right. To the Quigo plugin. So it's connecting. All right. So the plugin is enabled. Everything is enabled. So we are going to go over here. Okay. It's not going to allow create a new one because I already created it. Okay. So upon this, from this add-on, all right, once you open it, you should see just a click, yes, 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 all right. So once you turn it on, it's going to ask you to set the time, the date, okay, that the class is going to hold, and the duration of the quiz, all right. And then it's also going to ask you, to, I need to go to the, okay, yes. So this is the Quigo app, all right. So over here, when I tap on create test, okay, so that's what is showing me over there. Is like that because I'd already done it. So over here, you're going to see when your student must start the exam. So you set the specific date, for instance, 25th of January, okay, then the time, okay, you set the time. You set the time that the exam is going to hold. So I'm just going to use this for instance, okay? So the next thing is what is the duration of the test, okay, in minutes, of course. So I'm going to write, for instance, 90 minutes. Okay, 1 hour and 30 minutes, okay? So the next one is provide the email. So remember, you've collected all of your students' emails, all right? So they can only access that quiz using that email you've collected, all right? So let's assume that I have my email here, okay? So I have my email here, okay? So the next thing I'm going to set up here is enable camera tracking, okay? So this option allows the student allows you to see the student while he or she is writing the exam. In fact, you can now monitor the exam just by sitting down on your own desk, okay, while the students are right where they are. So once somebody is doing any foul play, you can see the person via the camera, okay? So this is enable screen recording, okay? So you get to see when any student is doing any foul play. All right, so this is how technology can actually help you, improve on your class delivery. All right, so immediately I'm done with this, I'm going to tap create test. So with this, I'm going to now copy this particular link, okay, and send it to the students, okay? So at that day, the time and the date of the exam, once the student accesses the link, all right, the class immediately opens. Okay, so I'm going to copy this link for instance, so you can see what we had done. So I'm going to copy this link, okay, and try to fill it in here, all right? So you can see, please confirm your email, all right? Now you no longer need to start calling the way they used to call us, to bring us into an exam hall. Just with the email, all right, the student logs in for the test, okay? So he said, we have sent an email with your link to Fredrick at Ibemgbo.gmail, all right? So in that email, what you're actually going to see is the link to the Google form, all right? And it can only be opened on that particular day of the exam, all right? So this is how you can use Google Form, all right? Google Form to create an examination or create your quiz in a more digital method. And once you also had, filled in the right answers to the questions, if it's a sub-objective question or multiple choice questions, immediately the student is done writing, Google immediately marks the script using the correct answer that you have set. So with this, it cuts you the time you have taken to mark all the scripts, all the answers that were submitted to you. Did we understand this? Did we understand this? I hope this was clear enough. I hope this was clear enough. All right, so to summarize, in summary or in conclusion, in this evolving world, the best way to stay relevant as an educator is by staying committed to daily learning on how to apply technology to delivery of lessons to ease student learning and faster engagement. Thank you for listening.
Wow, I love it. I love practice.